Hi, I'm Don Pullen, the Associate Pastor at the Village Church. And we've just come through the holiday season, and the holidays aren't always fun and joy and lighthearted. For those that have gone through difficult times and have even had to say goodbye to loved ones, holidays can be a real challenge. We've recognized that through the years, and one of the programs that we have here at Shell Point is Griefshare. And Jim and Judy Mayer are our Griefshare leaders. Judy, can you explain what Griefshare is and how it works when you meet together?
Mm-hmm. It's a program that is really offered all over the country, out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Particularly here, we have a lot of loss of spouses and great friends that have bonded here. And so it's an older set of people with exactly the same feelings that they would have had it happened younger. Mm-hmm. Griefshare addresses the loneliness and the readjustment that's required. It's really a lot of work to go through grief. So this is a group that shares and talks about it. We don't go into long conversations about all the hard parts or the gruesome parts of death, but we do address death as something that is often normal and a very powerful thing in our lives.
It's really a part of life. Not an easy part, but it's a part of life.
Everyday life includes death.
Mm-hmm. So Jim, what does a meeting look like when the group gathers together?
We always try to say that a group has three components to it. The first part is a video, a DVD, that it runs about 40 minutes long and covers, well, it's a 13-week course to start with, and so each week we have a different topic that is related to some aspects of what people deal with when they're grieving. And so the DVD presents one of those aspects each week. That's followed by a discussion period, and it gives everybody an opportunity to talk about their particular issues, whatever that might be.
If they want to.
If they want to, yeah.
Not required.
And then there's a workbook. Griefshare itself provides a workbook which has daily readings for 5 days of the week following, mm-hmm. and we encourage people to take that home and work through that on a weekly basis, and then we come back together and talk a little bit about that the following week. So it's a wonderful program with those three components.
Who would be someone that would consider joining a group like this, Judy?
I think anyone who's had a loss, whether it be 10 years ago and they've not really finished the grief work, or someone that has had a loss 3 months ago. Sometimes right at first there's such a shock period that it is it's hard on a person to do the work right away, but we encourage people at any point in their process.
Great.
We sometimes think that when people hear Griefshare, that it involves other kinds of grief, because you can have grief over the loss of a job or the loss of a friend or the loss of a dog or something like that. That's not what this is really all about. It's really about the loss of either a son or daughter, or maybe even a parent or a very close friend or a spouse. That's what we're really dealing with in terms of the grief that this is about.
And as residents, you've seen people ministered to through this program.
Yes, we've found that it has been really very helpful to people, and frankly, we have been through this ourselves a number of times, and even still, we see things that we hadn't seen before, and it's really encouraging from that standpoint.
And this is open to males and females.
Right.
We usually get pretty much of a balanced group, usually.
We do. Sometimes men are a little more reluctant to deal with these kinds of issues, but we've found it to be very valuable for men and women. The bottom line is it really is for anyone in that category that wants to come and be a part of it. Ideally, for a discussion group, having a group of 8 to 10 people is a perfect size.
And we've usually had about that number,
That's right.
so it's been...
When we've had more, we've made 2 groups.
For discussion, yeah.
People help each other a lot. It's not just we help them. Really, they help each other.
And I think that's one of the things that when we look at grief, we see just the real value of helping one another through that process, because our lives have been changed forever.
Right.
That grief affects that much of our life, and yet when we have others that have gone through similar circumstances, they really can minister to us and help us adjust to continue to look at life in a positive way.
Interestingly
Very
enough,
positive, really.
yeah, we were going through a Griefshare share session a couple of years ago when we experienced a deep loss in our own family with our son losing his life, and the group ministered to us in a very practical way, and it was a very helpful experience for us. So we understand the value of it.
So we want to encourage you to consider Griefshare. We offer this on an annual basis, and just a wonderful way to allow others to speak into your life as you've gone through these challenging circumstances. Thank you.